Each year, the senior class votes to select the next speaker. All of our graduates embody the four qualities of a DSHA graduate. They are believers, critical thinkers, communicators, and leaders. Our next speaker has blended those qualities with the development of citizenship, responsibility, and life skills. Through her involvement with 4-H, she has fostered that organization's mission of cultivating the heads, hearts, hands, and health of young people. While a valedictorian shared characteristics of the class of 2016, this was selected because through her classmates, she represents the spirit of the graduating class. Please welcome Danielle.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Thank you. First things first, I'd like to thank the graduating class for electing me to be the spirit speaker and making me write one last paper. Thanks, guys. Thanks. When Mr. Lynch first pulled me out of class, I was preparing for him to tell me that I'd failed math and I felt like I would throw up. Then he told me that I was the spirit speaker and I knew that I was going to throw up. Joking aside, I'm honored to represent the class of 2016 here tonight. These past 4 years have been quite the adventure. We've seen a lot of good moments together, and I wanted to take some time out to reflect on them. I think it's safe to say that we all learned about the dangers of microwaving a metal spoon. Together, we experienced the wonders of new cuisine as the lunchroom added those new varieties of hummus. Thanks to that sophomore. We lived through that fire drill on the coldest day of winter, which we knew had to be a drill because there's no way that a fire could have started at that temperature. We witnessed the addition of a second vending machine, which single-handedly destroyed any self-restraint that I had left. I think that we can all agree that Mr. Mankowski warning us about the dangers of sloth attacks might just save our lives someday. And I strongly believe that if we wanted to, together we could organize a world takeover using our class Facebook page alone. While attending the DSHA, we've learned a lot of lessons, and not only in the classroom. One of the most crucial things that we've learned here is that it's important to laugh, especially at ourselves. I personally learned this lesson back in January when I was driving into school. It had been snowing a lot, and there was some built-up snowbanks, as there are in Wisconsin. So there I am with my co-pilot, Beth Lamper, and we're jamming to Beyonce, pulling into the school parking lot. And to be honest, we were a little bit late, as it happens. And I took a little bit of an ambitious turn around the corner. And I really don't know how it happened. To this day, I think it was just, one of those accidents. But so I'm turning the corner and I just pull my front bumper of my car right off, just right into the snowbank. So there I am in the snowbank, trying to collect what's left of my bumper and my dignity. And I couldn't help but laugh at how ridiculous it was that I had managed to completely obliterate my bumper in less than 10 seconds. Well, I thought the whole experience was pretty funny. My parents didn't seem to laugh too hard. Between falling down the stairs and forgetting a Spanish oral in front of the entire class, we've all been through a lot of awkward moments together, and sometimes all you can do is laugh. Another memory I will always cherish is sitting in the back of Mrs. Lamar's U.S. History class. I can recall one day in particular when I was halfway through a test, wondering if I'd even studied for the right test. Let's be honest, I didn't study. So there I am taking the test, and I come across the question of who is Mike Collins. Often in history classes, we tend to hear about the influential people who had major roles in changing the course of history. And we commonly forget the people like Mike Collins. Michael Collins was the third man on the Apollo 11 mission to the moon. And I know what you're all thinking, why is Danielle up there talking about the moon landing? Well, Mike never had a chance to set foot on the moon, and instead he piloted the command spacecraft while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin got to have the glory of being the first two men on the moon. Without Mike, the mission would have never been possible. Well, I didn't know that during the test, and I'm pretty sure I made something up about how he invented the railroad or the saxophone or something. Something like that. I know I put something in. Today I recognize the importance of recognizing the people who don't always get to land on the moon with us, but who are watching over our shoulders, providing us with the essential support that we need. We all have people like Mike Collins in our lives, and I'd like to thank all the moms and dads, all the teachers and other TSC members, grandparents, coaches, friends, and here's to all the seamstresses that were able to let our dresses out tonight so we could squeeze into them. There's a lot of people at DSHA who don't get the recognition they deserve, and I'd like to take a few moments to remember them here today. I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Mellis and his efforts to save the world one compost pile at a time. I don't think anyone has offered me more baked goods than you, and for that I'd like to thank you. You're the reason why my seamstress had to let my dress out. Here's to all the girls that were in function, stats, and trigonometry. And a shout out to Mrs. Weichland for putting up with us. Thank you to Mr. Niederman for teaching us about the resilience of the human spirit during sophomore year, when against medical advice, he powered right through that concussion. 2016 has brought about a lot of change, and as we all begin to embark on one of the biggest changes of our lives so far. Like everyone in this room, I'm nervous about what the future holds, but I can remember how nervous I was about high school, and that turned out pretty well. I know I took the time I had at DSHA for granted, and I'm going to miss you all. It's hard to say goodbye to our classmates, especially after years of growing closer, and I will never forget all the times that we've shared. To close, I would like to quote one of my favorite actresses who said, "Follow your passion, stay true to yourself. Never follow someone else's path, unless you're in the woods, and you're lost, and alone, and you see a path. By all means, follow that path." Follow that path, ladies. With one last summer together, before we all go away to college and begin to create our own paths, let's make the most of our time we have left together, and remember, what happens in the future, no matter what happens in the future, we will always share the memories that we've created here together. Thank you.